child labor. As you know, we already commemorate International Labor Day yesterday, May 1st, and this topic never become old topic to discuss. So every year there will always a problem or an issue about labor. And tonight we are going to discuss about the child labor. And here in your screen, there is a paper about it. You can read it actually. So I'm just giving a very short information about that. So we have a guide to discuss tonight. Well, if you are talking about child labor, we are talking about children who below the minimum working age engage in labor. Sometimes or often they are under hazardous or exploitative conditions. And what is actually hazardous work? We know International Labor Organization explain us about hazardous works. It is related to physically extreme labor, like they have heavy lifting, especially in ports or constructions, or the exposure to extreme temperatures, like in mines or brick kilns, or they have a toxic substance like pesticide in farming or chemical factories. The second is it has high risk jobs, for example, like operating heavy machinery, like in construction equipment or saws, or working at heights such as fruit picking or roofing. Also, like if it has a fire or explosive life, like matchsticks factories or mining.
Nuria, maybe you have
Yeah.
any other perspective about why some kids have to work?
For me personally, actually children have the right to enjoy their time. I mean their childhood, but in some condition, their economic, especially for their economic background, they need to work to help their families to earn money or to give supplies for the family. And it's so sad for me. It's I don't agree. I disagree to this. To this. Can I call it action? Yeah, to this action. But in other perspective, I can see that if they start their professional ability in younger age, in the younger age, they can be more professional in his or in their skills. So it can be good for the skills and survival mode for the living, but in other side, they lost their childhood, they lost their identity as a children, and also their right to have a good and supportive living in our society. So that's all that I can say. Thank you.
Because if you cannot provide your child, so then why you give the birth to this child? So I think this is a pretty big problem. I mean, the people can blame everyone, especially government, like, oh my God, they force my children to work, or like, I don't know, the sun doesn't shine from my side or something like this. But no, I think it's only parents' big fault. So if parents does not have the confidence about they will be able to provide the children for 100%, so I think they shouldn't give birth to the child. So yeah, I think they should not, how to say, shouldn't give birth to child. Thanks.
Okay, thanks, Anna. It's not far from the economic condition, right? Because um, it's correlate with the parents that they cannot provide their children due to the economic.
Then I think if I'll work for government, then I will I will dealing with these kids' children, with these kids' parents, like why they force their children to do some work, why they do this. So if it's about the money, maybe I will make some programs who will help this.
The educators, teachers, lecturers, and you can see the latest news. Many of them leave the PNS, right, because of maybe salary is totally bad. To me, after giving free a good facilities, good education, the government uh, must provide really good salary for educators, teachers, lecturers, because high quality individuals will not apply to be teachers or lecturers if the welfare is not good. Ya kayak semut lah ya. It's like kayak semut is like ants. If there is a sugar, even furthermore, the sugar is delicious. Yeah, many of them will go to there. But yeah, the sugars or money do not or are not there. Yeah, of course they look for other jobs working in the multinational company, uh, in the other sectors that give them money, right? Welfare. It's easy to said and done, by the way.
So I can I can try my best, and maybe it's better to start brainstorming for 5 minutes. So I can ask all of you, maybe uh, based on your knowledge or your experience, uh, what do you feel about, or what do you think about child labor exploitations?
We don't accept it, but they exist. So how?
Yeah, so, in your perspective or in your role as one of citizens, what you can do to eradicate it or erase it, the child labor in the street? So what the citizens should do in your positions, for example?
For me, I guess as a citizen, maybe we give them, like some places that can educate them while they are working. I mean, we cannot stop them from working because it is our not right. It is our not our it is not our rights to stop them. Only we can educate them that it's not good. I mean, to stop them slowly.
Do you demonstrate in legal way or
I
illegal
think
way?
I think this is, I mean, this is the system that we are facing, right? So
Yeah.
I guess we do many things as we can, like in a legal way or some
Yeah,
outlaw
yeah,
way, yeah. Maybe
yeah,
like to do like some inviting content on TikToks
yeah,
or on Instagrams. But it is something like we are offering is about tragic, the tragedy. So it's like a waking call because the system is really a big enemy, and one effort doesn't mean something. We need a lot of efforts to change the world.
but yeah, but can you scrutinize the systems? I mean, if we want to go demonstrations, which part we should do the first? I mean, the regulations or the structure or the cultural of exploitations. I mean, yeah, when we talk about systems and we agree it's complex, but doing demonstrations in 2 hours, for example, or one day, we should prioritizing the things we want to demonstrate. Which part, according to you, the most we should protest first?
I think it is about, yeah, the worst. We better really looking for the exploitation, I guess, because
Okay.
the exploitation is really the big enemy in this country. And also,
So yeah, okay. Yeah, it's a good point, I guess. Yeah.
yeah, I think it is the only way. And also, you can see on the street there's so many, you know, thugs. Thugs. Yeah, like
That's,
preman,
yeah,
tagism, yeah, thug boy, tagism,
stuck, yeah.
thug life, yeah, like that, yeah, tough boy. Yeah, they exist, and it's we try to change, we try to do
Yeah.
a lot of things, but doesn't change. And I think we need to do something like the hardest part of that. I mean, when they don't listen to us, I guess we better to do something like to hit the hardest part of them.
I believe it is considered exploitation,
Mm.
especially if parents like, really force them to work just to earn some money, right? Yeah, so I think yeah, it could be considered exploitation if we don't. I mean, if parents do not fulfill their apa ya hak itu rights,
Right.
yeah, the rights of their kids, right? So for
Yeah.
example, yeah, the physical, the mental, the education, or like their safety, their health. Yeah, so that is what I think, and what I think is the exploitation could be happening more in the city than in rural area. I think because
Really?
yeah, I'm not really sure, but
Yeah.
because I think it is. I think that's what I think because it is easy to see that in the city because for example, if we go to, if we stop at the traffic light in Makassar, like we could see that at almost every traffic light in Makassar. So
Yeah.
I'm not sure about in rural areas, but that is what I see in the city. Yeah, I
Yeah.
could be wrong. Yeah.
Yeah, maybe because we are living in the city, so there is urban bias. Yeah, I mean,
Mm-mm.
yeah, it is not because we are not living in the rural. So in the rural, it seems no child exploitations. Maybe maybe there is another happen also in the rural area, because in my mind, exploitations is based on the system, yeah, system work. For example, economic system work, how the producer produce with willingness to get more profit, yeah. So they exploit the workers.
So everything seems to be like really fragmented. Like, every single entity, is acting on their own. Government is acting on their own, and then NGOs are acting on their own, and then universities and all of that are actually acting on their own. There's no kind of like synergy, or they're not in sync in order to fight against this, massive issue. Well, it's actually very clear, as I said before, that the very reason why children are out there, they've got you mentioned before that during the introduction, that they got the psychological motivations, we got the financial reasoning, and then all of that actually contributing towards the the reasons why children are looking for money or working to find money and to to do whatever they want to do. It's because of all of that. But look at us right now. Like, it's been ages, and then we haven't been able to actually significant, because, for example, a lot of NGOs, a lot of like development organizations have actually been doing grassroots level approach, and then one of them is includes mapping the data, like getting the grassroots level data. For example, like how many children are actually engaging in what do you call that, like what was the term that you used before, like children involved in hazardous environment, I don't know, or dangerous, what was that, what was the term?
Found it in English dictionary, like hazardous. I actually confuse how to
Yeah, like
pronounce it well.
Yeah. So I mean, like they have mapped a lot of data. They have obtained like a lot of information from the field. But then, like when they report it to the government, of course they have to report it to the government. They leave the data to the government, but the government doesn't, for in hope the government is going to continue the integration of the data with the data from coming from other organizations and then agencies. But they don't do that. They just leave the data in whatever data center it is, and then that's that. So that's the problem. So it's not that we don't have the data; it's just that we don't make use of it.
Yeah.
About not calling the not generalizing that a child should not ever work, but child work is a neutral term, and it can be, and it's not exploitation, but we also need a term for the act of child work that is exploitative, which is child labor. So I think that it's a term that needs to stay, but we need to use it properly. So when a child is working like after school, or just like doing something on their free time, that's not child labor, that's child work, and that's fine. That's not a negative thing. But I think we need the term for when it's bad, because it's a serious issue. Like maybe in more urban areas, in more developed areas, it's not as big of a deal, but in rural areas with not very good socioeconomic development, it's a serious issue, and we definitely need that term. If I was that child, I don't think I wouldn't. I
What will you do in that situation? What will you do with your friends? Do you?
I mean, realistically
Collide
speaking,
with
I was a child, I probably would hit them. I mean, I was not a very peaceful child.
Yeah.
But it's a hypothetical.
Sorry, what?
It's a hypothetical situation. I think that realistically every child would cope differently, and
Are you?
yes, yeah, I think
Yeah.
I don't think I have a good answer for this. It's every child would cope differently based on their personalities, and that would leave different lasting impacts on them. But it's not something that is directly related to the work. It's just the society around it, the stigma that's attached to the act of working. So I think that's relevant.
More children, more blessings, right? More children, more income. Because in the old days, they don't need education fee. They don't need the so-called extra burden on all those payments that today's parents are taking burden of. And well, in today's industrial era, children is becoming consumers. They are not producers anymore. They are not production factors anymore. So parents are taking obligation on the everything on education fees and stuff like that, which the numbers is quite amazing, right? And that's what we need to look at first. And just the perspective on children's blessings, is no longer be applied to modern society because they're becoming consumers, they're becoming burdens. And that is not something to blame, but this is what happened to the whole, global civilization. And at this point, we need to be aware that our humanity is pushed in the edge of secular understanding that we see human as properties, we see children as something of buy and sell, things like that on the economic perspective. But this is not something true. Yeah, if we look deeper to social perspectives, because children are the nuclear family that consists of parents, children. It is a very necessary element so that the society function. And if say for example, if there is no regeneration, like today's popular minds telling people to childless or child-free, this is going to doom the society. Yeah, apart from the economic burden, like the child labor stuff, yeah, we do understand, but we are living in the crisis. We're living in the era of crisis where life expenditures exceeding year by year, and
family to support their family in order to survive, and because their family cannot fulfill their basic needs, so the child was forced to labor to help them survive. Then there's a member that in our group, it's a part of the parents' fault, so they cannot provide well their children. And then about the beliefs in our country that banyak anak banyak rezeki. So it happens also in in Kazakhstan, yeah, from our member Sanat. They have same beliefs also in their country. So, but we think that in some point it's irrelevant now because having many children means that we need to work harder, and there's additional mouths to be fed. So in this economic crisis nowadays, it's kind of difficult there. And then it's hard to enforce child labor laws because our governments consider this it's not a big deal for them. So that's why the child labor can be found everywhere in our country. So it needs much money to help reduce the child labor. So the money can be used for provide the free education with good quality and facility, or to provide them for the children that cannot attend the formal education. We can provide them into informal education. It can be provided by the company also from maybe the CSR program. Yeah, but this we believe that our country have money to be allocated to solve this problem, but due to the corruption again, it's kind of difficult to allocate the money properly. And then so we also discuss about the children who become a content object by their parents. So we believe that in some ways, in some perspective, that this is include the child labor, because it's I mean some members thought that many parents still doesn't aware of the dangerous side of oversharing, yeah? And they didn't ask their children's consent before making them as a content. And as an individual, we need to educate also our friends or our relatives about the children's children's rights. So to reduce this child labor, we can start from ourselves by taking care of our relatives' children, and call the authorities if we see them force the children to work for them. Yeah, I think that's all. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Chita. And now move to our new leaders, Mr. Ishak. Time is yours.
Okay, thank you. Yeah, this is really raising our awareness, yeah, discussing in our group. thank you for all members. And we discuss 3 questions, what we really understand about this topic, and why this happened, and how, what we can do to eradicate the exploitations in children labor or worker. And from the first questions, what we really understand about this topic, the in our living in, for example, in Makassar, we can see easier child labor, in the street, especially how it works. And we also try to make definitions about that, like from ILO or from our point of view. So but in this point, we discuss much about the exploitations, what the exploitation means, and we also discuss about children who works with their parents, whether it's exploitations or not, but it's still us working. So by definitions and by experience, we understand about child labor exploitations. So why exploitation exists? We discuss about the system, whether it's economic system or political system that work that make children being exploited. So in this part, we also discuss about the role of governments, the policy that not really protect children's. Also, there is something like a rational choice thinker that people really want to get more profit than providing justice for kids, for children. So they try get more utilities, minimize costs, and it makes children exploited their body, their health, their mental, their times, etc. And also, we discuss about how we can eradicate it. We have many things to think what kind of role we can do, whether as individual or as a part of organizations. We can say that we discuss about how to do advocacy or try to change policy or the way the governments regulate the way governments service the citizens. We believe that demonstrations is one way we can providing solutions. In demonstrations, we have many kind of actions we can do, whether orations or campaigning posters, doing graffiti in the walls, or even doing theatrical. And from the demonstrations, we can raise awareness from people, organizing them to don't stop, try providing solutions or taking action to solve the problem. And also, we think about organizing the victims, the children who exploited. We put some example organization who organize that, like KPAJ or other organizations that based on parents of children that vulnerable, easier to being exploited. And also we think about democracy in anarchist way, many kind of demonstration lah. And we optimistic to cope this problem, to make a part of solutions. Same with the first group that start from ourselves, educating ourselves, and then educating people. Not only people who exploited the children who exploit, but also the governments who don't pay attention to protect the children, or the developer or people who doing business to make their business fair, and not exploited.
Next to the latest room leaders, Zakia, time is yours.
Thank you very much, Ka. And I think previous leaders already explained a lot of things about this issue. While in my group, we really have a short time. We still have a lot of questions to answer and a lot of things to discuss. So unfortunately, we only have 1 hour to discuss. So it's a very short time for us. Well, when we are talking about child labor, it is like it has a negative stigma. The first thing that comes up in our mind probably about discrimination, exploitation, harassment, or violation. But we believe that every single thing has two sides, whether it's positive and negative side. We try to see this issue in positive way. Like why we don't try to give a positive term about this issue. So not only about child labor anymore. Maybe we can say this child worker or whatever it is. So there is something that we call acceptable child worker, where there are several situations that we can say that a children who work is acceptable. First is we can see the time of working. If the children, for example, the children who work as a content creator or a child celebrity, we must see the total hour when the children create the video or the convenience they feel when they take a shot. So we must see that when the children feel comfortable, feel okay, feel happy with the working situation, we can say this child worker, and it is acceptable. As long as there is no any discrimination or exploitation on that, it is okay for children to work. Like Chita explained before about when the parents who have many children, they will have many wealth or many much lucky. We also discuss about that. It is in our group we discuss about the bigger possibility of a child worker when parents have many children. That's why nowadays there is like a trend issue that call child free. Child labor is also one of the reason why people in this generation choose child free, because they don't want their child to suffer economically, mentally, because of economical situation or because of the bad environment that we see nowadays. So it is actually we also actually about the difference between in Australia, because we have Kanaskar here who live in Aussie. In Indonesia, for example, there are many company who really like to work with children because they can pay cheaper than the adult. But in a big country like Australia, it is also legal to work with children with under 18 years old child, as long as they have a good regulation and they still pay attention on the rights of the children as a worker. So it is okay. But unfortunately, it does not happen in Indonesia, and it causes a lot of issues nowadays. So I think that's all. We discussed a lot actually, but later we can continue. Thank you, Kak.
Now, before we move to the next session, the closing, I will show you the what do you say? The ratio of book has been sent to Mr. Naskar from the previous weekly discussion.
Yay!
No, Kanaskar, give it to me.
I truly appreciate the time and thought you all put into discussion today. It really makes our discussion meaningful, yeah. And once again, thank you for your participation. Take care. I'm looking forward to see you all in our next meeting, yeah. Last, good night.
Bye. Thank you all.
Thank you all.
Have a great
See
weekend
you.
for you.
Have a good weekend. Okay.